So taking a moment just to notice, to check in, how are you feeling, what's going on today? And the key to doing this is not having any sort of expectation or agenda, right? If you think you're supposed to be calm and you find that you're not calm, you're going to be distorting your perception. You're going to be not welcoming certain things into your experience that may just be a part of your experience right now that you really can't avoid. So this part of the class is really just about sort of accepting where we are, accepting what's going on with us on every level. So take a moment to do that physically. You might be tired, you might be injured, you might feel great. So just sort of allowing yourself to feel into that physical experience of the body and the senses. And then there's the breath/energy, what we might call energy. Again, you might associate that with your physical body if you're feeling tired. In yoga, that's considered sort of a different aspect, the energy, the breath. So you might notice the flow of your breath. Is it fast or slow? And again, there's no real right or wrong here. We're not expecting it to be one way or another, we're just noticing. And same with your energy, sort of like, are you tired today? Are you feeling full of pep and energy? And then the emotional, what we might call the heart. So sometimes there can be a great weight on us due to things going on in our life. And no matter what we try, we might feel like that weight is just following us around throughout the day. So that's okay. There's no problem. You can still do yoga with whatever emotions are present. And then just noticing the mind. What I recommend is just sort of noticing the activity in the mind. Is it really busy? Does it seem to be throwing, kind of pulling your attention in a certain direction? Maybe to the future or the past. Very often we have concerns, anxiety about the future, and that's usually based on past experience. So just notice that that's sort of what's going on with you. And just notice that both future and past are just thoughts and images that arise in the present moment. We never go to the future. We can't go to the past, we know that, but a lot of us think we will go to the future, but we never do. It's always just the present. And so what yoga teaches us is that actually we create a better future by really paying attention to the present moment, not by worrying about the future. So we're here doing yoga now together. Let's focus on that. Let's not worry too much about what we can't control, which is the future. We can only control this moment. We can't even control it, but we can influence it. Okay, so let's begin to deepen our breathing. And as all of you know, this is going to affect our nervous system. And the way our nervous system is behaving, whether it's in sympathetic or parasympathetic, is going to have a big impact on things like how we feel, like our anxiety level, our sense of calmness, our ability to focus the mind, because as we go into anxiety, we move more and more into the amygdala, which is the ancient lizard part of our brain. When we're calm and relaxed, we work more in the mammalian and the prefrontal cortex, which is the human part of the brain. So in general, we're going to function best when we are in a calm and relaxed state. Once you've established a 3-part breath, then begin to layer on top Ujjayi, which is that ocean sounding, like just creating little friction, right, at the throat. And again, this is usually the kind of thing I'm referring to when I say at the beginning of class, you know, are there any questions? Maybe you've been having trouble or you're not sure you're doing this technique right. Well, it's worth making sure, you know, being certain. So hopefully you all know the technique well. Okay, so today we're twisting, so let's bring both legs in. And we'll begin today very often how we sort of finish the class. And it's actually not a bad way to work, what we might call bookends. And that's probably what we'll do today. I'm not certain. But let's just begin pulling the legs in and moving around a little bit. These sorts of gentle movements work really well as both a warm-up and as a cool down, right? As a way of releasing. So they have a similar effect on the body in either direction, whether I'm working up toward something or working down toward relaxation. So we're just moving around a little bit, feeling into the hips and the back and the legs. And since twisting really uses the spine a lot, just make sure you're noticing your back, how it feels. I have a little bit of sensitivity in my back today, but maybe less than I often do. So relatively speaking, it's a relatively good back day for me. And then we'll do our first active twist, which will also function as a little bit of core. Many of you know I like to do core right at the beginning of the class because it really can raise our core temperature up. So with the knees in, we'll just take a nice deep breath and exhale as we drop the knees toward the ground. And then we inhale center and exhale them toward the ground on the other side. Now your knees do not need to touch the ground, okay? So you just drop them as far as you like or as far as you feel is safe for you. Now you may not realize this unless you've studied some anatomy. This is using what are called the obliques, which is part of what we would call our core, kind of that core abdominal region. So if you want to work a little harder, then you just simply straighten the legs, and that's going to create a longer lever, and that's going to make the muscles work harder. I don't have that much room here, so I'm going to keep my knees bent, but just so you know, if you want to work harder, the straighter your legs are, the harder your core is going to work. Now this is serving two functions for us today. One is to activate the core, but the other is the repetition of the twisting movement, spinal rotation. So I said I had a little bit of sensitivity in my back. One of the things that's happening here as I repeat this movement is some of that sensitivity is going away. And that's just a very natural thing for us to experience when we are moving like this in a repetitive fashion, is with each repetition, the body adapts, it warms up, sometimes it even can heal. So that's what we're looking for. If you repeat a movement and each time it's getting worse and worse and more painful, that's usually not what we are looking for. And if that's happening, it's probably a good idea to just stop. Okay, let's come back to center now after dropping the knees to the right the last time because we started on the left. And then we'll simply rock and roll up to seated and come into a tabletop by crossing the ankles and rolling forward. So here we want to focus more on the forward and back movement of the spine with some cat-cows. So inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head up. And exhale, you tuck the tailbone round the back and the crown of the head moves down. So again, I like to share my personal experience, which, because it may resonate with you and it may help guide you. Definitely a little bit of sensitivity as I begin these forward and back movements in my back. But again, as I repeat, much of that sensitivity is going away. It's diminishing. So again, each repetition, I generally am feeling more and more
flexible in my back, less and less pain or discomfort. And that's exactly what I want. So let's also do a few side to side. So exhale, hips down, inhale, center, exhale to the other side. And you just sort of look away from the hips. So this is also a bit of a twist, but it's also what we call lateral flexion. So we don't ideally skip this movement. And hopefully you can feel it feels a little bit different than everything else we've done so far. Good, so we're coming back to neutral. We'll tuck those toes, lift the hips, and come into our down dog. So we pedal back and forth, roll over the toes, circle the ankles, bend the knees, kick the legs, just warming, waking everything up. And again, generally what I'm looking for is just, again, that freedom of movement, the release of stiffness and pain. So you can see I'm just sort of going back and forth. There's quite a bit of stiffness in the calves for me today. So again, I'm just trying to work that out with the repetition of the movement. So it's important to understand that, what is boring to the mind is not necessarily boring to the body. That can greatly benefit the body, things that are very repetitious or boring for the mind. So just keep that in mind. Yoga is not entertainment. It's not meant to be. It's not meant really to entertain or keep the mind preoccupied. So don't let boredom get in your way. With our exhale, let's walk our feet to the hands as we come into ragdoll. And you may want to just grab the opposite elbow here. So gentle stretch for the back. And again, I definitely am feeling my back in this position for whatever reason. So on my back, it felt relatively good. And here I actually feel relatively vulnerable. So it's an interesting mix for me today. And every day is different. That's why I share this with you. It's not like the discomfort is always the same. The level and the positions, it can shift and change. Okay, so arms relaxed. We're going to inhale and roll up to stand, stacking ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. And now, as most of you know, we do a more vigorous form of warm-up, and this is the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. This is a variation of it. It's not the most traditional form. Okay, so feet touching or hip distance. As we inhale, we draw arms up, touch palms, lift the heart, and we want to create length from the pubic bone through the chin. As we exhale, we release into a forward fold, bringing the palms flat, bending the knees, and letting the neck relax. On the inhale, we come to the fingertips or take hands to shins as we lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, plant the hands, right foot back, and then left foot to the top of a push-up. Okay, so try and line everything up, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels, with the wrists directly below the shoulders. With the exhale, let's drop the knees, and then we'll bend the elbows until they are hugging the ribs. They're by the ribs. And then we take a breath there. And with the next exhale, we lower the rest of the way down. On the inhale, lift the hands, head, neck, chest. So we're just using the back. This is to strengthen the back. Then exhale, coming down, press back to tabletop and down dog. So it's a very important distinction to make with back bends. Is some back bends are better at working the joints in your spine, and some are better at strengthening the muscles in your back. Ideally, we do both, but they can be quite different. Okay, let's inhale to the toes, fill the lungs, and we exhale front edge of the mat. So we inhale, we come back up to standing back bend, and then grabbing the right wrist with our left hand. Hips go to the right as we pull to the left, stretching the right side from the hip through the wrist. So try and even that out. Let's inhale back to center. We switch wrists, and same thing on the other side. That's Ardha Chandrasana half moon. So again, I'm trying to even out that stretch all the way up the left side. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale to a forward fold. We inhale, half lift, and then exhale, left foot back, and then right, top of the push-up. Okay, so as you all know, knees up or down is your call, but choose wisely. Okay, Viveka Kyati in yoga, that's what we call that. Wise choosing, wise decision making. Okay, so I want good form with the upper body. Elbows hug the ribs, right? And then inhale, straighten arms and legs. That's the up dog. So deeper back bend, working the spine more, right? Doesn't require much back strength. Exhale, pull both feet in, hips go up and back, down dog. All right, let's do one more. So we inhale, toes, fill the lungs. Exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. Exhale, half moon, stretch your side. Inhale, center, and stretch the left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, sit into an imaginary seat. Okay, so hips are back and down. Arms are up and back. Shoulders are over the hips, and we're dropping down. Feel that tapas, the energy. So again, this posture like this is really going to affect your energy. You could say your temperature, right? I can feel the heat growing as I hold this position. So heat is one way that energy is dissipated and released, right? Okay, we inhale, standing back bend, up and back, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and then this time, if you're able to, both feet back, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, up dog, and throw in a push-up on your way back to down dog if you're able to. All right, good. So I'm definitely feeling warmed up and I'm ready to do some deeper work. So feet touch, and as we often do, we'll do some hip circles here. So inhale, right leg up and back, bend the knee, bring it toward your belly, out to the right and back behind you. Do a few circles like that, and then do a few in the opposite direction. So huge circles, okay? Good, let's take a deep breath. We're gonna exhale and lunge, and we inhale to a crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. So we do this posture a lot. Hopefully it's second nature for you. Front foot and knee straight ahead, knee over the heel, right thigh approaching parallel. Left heel behind the toes, pressing toward the ground. Left leg straight, left hip forward, right hip back. And then arms are straight up and back. Last week we were really emphasizing the back bend, but even though we're not emphasizing it this week, it's still there. The arms are up and back, upper body is back. There is a back bend element to this. Let's take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up as you make your way to down dog. And then side two, feet touch. We inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, the knee toward the belly, out to the left and back behind. Big circles. And remember, a few in each direction. Good, we take a nice deep breath and then lunge, and we inhale to crescent lunge. So like the chair posture, this posture is, when done properly, probably going to generate some heat and intensity. So in Yoga Sutras, Patanjali tells us we want the posture, the pose,
to be steady and also comfortable. But he's not saying it's going to start that way. If you've ever done meditation, rarely is meditation start out as comfortable. So when we first come into a pose, very often there's a lot of discomfort at first. And then what we're learning to cultivate is equanimity. And that's where that comfort is coming from. All right, take a deep breath, exhale, bottom of the push-up. We'll make our way back to down dog. Okay, good work, everybody. From here, we will inhale to the toes. We exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend up and back. And then same as last week, we exhale and just take a twist to the right. Okay, so left hip forward, left shoulder back. Oh, sorry, to the right, I said. So this way, this direction. Okay, so right hip forward, right shoulder back, gaze back over the right shoulder, right? Okay, inhale back up, and then to the left, same thing, a chair twist. Good, let's inhale back up, and we exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and then exhale, bottom of your push-up. As you know, I will skip push-ups because otherwise I get out of breath. I can't teach the class anymore. All right, so continuing on, let's bring feet to touch. We inhale, right leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. Right foot is flexed, toes, knee, and hip point down. Right hip level with the left. Let's take a nice deep breath. We exhale and lunge, and then we inhale up into crescent lunge. Good. So we'll start the flow the same way as we did last week. This week, we just exhale, bend those arms. Inhale up to stupa, and then we exhale, crescent lunge, facing back, right? So we did this exact same flow last week. And we're just opening up those hip flexors, working that front thigh. And again, that is something you should feel as you come into the crescent lunge in each position. Okay? Okay, so this time as we come into crescent lunge, we'll inhale, step the back foot forward, straighten the arms, and we cross the right thumb over the left. And as we exhale, we come forward and down to pyramid. Now again, this is a posture we did last week, except we're doing it a little earlier in the flow this week. So hands either side of the foot and the forehead toward the knee. Left hip forward, right hip back. Left shoulder down, level with the right. And when this is done properly, there should be some stretching in the back of this right thigh. I'm just going to breathe into that. Good. Inhale, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, bottom of your push-up. You'll see me turn from time to time just so I can continue facing the camera. Okay, side two, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. Okay, so important thing with this posture is awareness and then just making your best effort. Let's take a deep breath. We exhale, lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge with the left leg forward. Let's do the same flow. So we exhale, bend the knee, bend the arms, and we inhale up, stupa, which is a transition, and then exhale, crescent lunge. So when I say stupa is a transition, I mean we're not really working anything there. We're just moving. It's a position between two more active positions, okay? And hopefully you can feel that. So don't expect much from stupa. It's not going to do much for you in terms of hermetic beneficial stress. All right, we come into our crescent, and then Inhale, step it in, square the hips off, straighten both legs, heels on the ground, left thumb over right, and exhale. So we try and keep the spine long and straight as long as we can. And then once the hands reach the ground or the blocks, we can split the hands apart. And then we really fold in there. Again, forehead toward that knee. Maybe you can even touch the knee. Good. Bend the knee, inhale, look forward, exhale, bottom of the push-up as you make your way to down dog. Okay, from here, we inhale to the toes, we exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, chair twist to the right. Inhale. Chair twist to the left. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, prayer twist to the right. I'm going to mirror you. Okay. So we did this last week. And then the next round, we went into Parsvabhakasana. So I'm going to offer that here. And if you weren't able to do it last week, or you were, either way, I do recommend you try it. So we inhale, open the arms, exhale, hands to the ground, shoulder width, gaze up, and then it's just shifting weight from the feet to the arms. And feel free to bring this elbow, so your right elbow, because I'm mirroring you, this is my left, but it's going to be your right, to your right hip. So you create 2 points of contact, and then that will create more stability if that's a concern for you, right? Everyone's different. Some people, the difficulty is the flexibility. For others, it's the strength and stability. And then for others, it's their inner ear. It's the balance that they struggle with the most. Let's try the other side. So let's let it go completely. We inhale all the way up, and then exhale as we twist. Okay, inhale, open those arms. And again, just take your time and do what you can do. Just maybe you can just bring the arms to the ground for now and see what that feels like, okay? So again, this is not about a final product. It's about the journey, and we benefit the whole journey. So even if I am just barely able to get my hands to the ground, like that's one step on the journey, and I'm going to benefit by taking that step, okay? All right, let's inhale back to standing back bend, up and back. And we exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of your push-up. Again, I'm going to step back, but if you can, do your vinyasas. All right, so we're about halfway through here. Let's bring feet to touch. We inhale, right leg up and back, and exhale, knee to arm. We did this one last week. Inhale up, exhale, knee to nose, chin or forehead. Inhale, exhale, opposite arm, kick it out, drop the back heel, and inhale up into what's called a fallen triangle. Good, let's exhale that hand down. We inhale the leg up and back, exhale, lunge, and then we inhale to crescent lunge. Okay, I'm again going to turn just so I can face the camera here. Okay, so we'll integrate pyramid, Parsvottanasana, into the flow here. So we exhale, we bend those arms. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, crescent facing back. Inhale, step it in, and this is a bit tricky, right? Step it in and exhale, pyramid. Inhale, back up. It's not the easiest move to make. And then exhale, step back into a crescent. Good. Inhaling up and then crescent. Inhale up and pyramid. Good. So we're just going to repeat that a few times on each side. Each repetition, again, potentially makes it a little easier as the body adapts, gets used to it, and also potentially takes us a little deeper. We don't want to force ourselves deeper, right? But we may go deeper because the body is adapting. That's the lesson we learn here. Okay, inhale, stepping up, and then exhale, forward fold pyramid. Okay, let's hold our pyramid here, and we'll do a rotated triangle, okay? So I really want to ground those heels, legs straight. Use blocks if you need them, okay? Now, what I'd like to do first step is crown of the head away from the tailbone. So trying to straighten out my spine, lengthen it. And then exhale, I plant the left hand onto the ground or a block. So it's right under my shoulder. And then I just inhale and stack the right shoulder above the left as best as I can. I'm lengthening my left waist and opening my chest as much as possible. So some people have like double joints in their shoulder and they bring the arm way back, but the shoulder is still pointing forward. So try and focus more on the shoulder. Get the shoulder back. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up and make your way to down dog. All right, side two, feet touch. We inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee, left arm. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale. And exhale, opposite arm. Kick it out. And then inhale, fallen triangle pose. Good. We exhale that hand down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And we inhale to crescent. We'll do that same flow starting on this side. Okay, so exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, stupa. And exhale, crescent with the arms bent. Inhale, step it in. Again, not the easiest thing to do with one half breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand back up. And exhale, step back into crescent. Okay, so again, we did a very similar thing last week. Hopefully, it's relatively familiar for you this week. If this week is your first time doing this move, then just be patient with yourself. Don't get frustrated if you get a little confused or it feels difficult the first few times. That's pretty natural. Remember, you don't have to do things perfectly to benefit. So one of the things I've learned after teaching for a while, it's amazing how wrong you can do things and still get a lot of benefit from it. So don't worry about perfection. Good. This time we come down, right? And then from here, we want to start building our rotated triangle. So legs are straight, heels are in the ground, left hip back, right hip forward, right? So the hips are squaring toward the front of the mat. And then again, I want to focus on this length and straightness in the spine. My spine might not be perfectly straight, but it's about the best I can do here. Then once I have the length, exhale, I plant that right hand to the ground or on a block. And then I just stack on the inhale the left shoulder above the right shoulder. Again, some people can bring their arm way back. It's not about the arm. It's about opening the chest. So length in the right waist and ribs and openness in the chest.
Good. Exhale that hand down, bottom of your push-up, and just make your way to down dog. Okay, let's inhale the toes. We're going to exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. We inhale all the way to standing back bend and exhale. Our arms are out like wings. Bend those knees. And then what we'd like to do is inhale the right ankle over the left thigh. So this is a balancing pigeon. We do this a fair amount in my classes. As far as I know, I'm the only person that teaches this posture, but I think it's a great posture. Okay, so I want to make sure my ankle and my knee are happy. The arms help with balance. And then I drop my hips down and chest down for a pigeon-like glute stretch. That's what we're looking for here. So a lot going on. I'm working my inner ear, vestibular system, balancing. I'm strengthening the muscles in my feet and my lower leg. So if those aren't strong, I'm not going to be able to balance very well. And then I'm stretching my right glute. Again, I'm mirroring you. This is actually my left, but for you, it should be the right side. Good. Let's inhale back up. So we let that go. And then we just do the other side. Same thing, dropping down into a chair. And then inhale left over right. And again, mindful of knees and ankles. Now, if you're wobbling all over the place, again, that means probably one of two things. Your feet and lower leg are weak, or your inner ear, your balance is not very good, okay? Or both. That's another possibility. So there are specific things you can do for each of those that I could recommend, all right? But I'm not going to recommend them right this minute. Okay, let's inhale up to standing back bend and exhale forward fold. Inhale, half lift, crow, handstand, exhale, bottom of the push-up. And you make your way to downward dog. All right, so moving right along. Feet touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. And then this time we exhale, right knee, right arm. Inhale, so we've done this already. Exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale, opposite. Kick it out. Inhale, swastikasana. And then exhale, the hand down, hips down. So this is the, fallen triangle. And then this is the auspicious twist. Okay, so forearms to the ground, twisting here. Okay, the knees are bent. And then to take it a step, you're already twisting, but to take it a step further, left shoulder to the ground, palm up, and then right palm to left palm. So twisting has been a bit of a challenge for me lately, and I'm definitely feeling it here. So this is potentially the deepest twist we've done in today's class. All right, so hopefully a few breaths there has helped to release any tension you found. We come out as we came in, so we inhale fallen triangle. Exhale, hand to the ground. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, and then inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, stupa. And then exhale, crescent facing back. Good. Inhale, step it in, straighten the arms and leg, and exhale, forward fold. This time, inhale, left arm up, rotated triangle, right? Exhale that hand down. Inhale, stand back up.
and then exhale, crescent lunge. Okay, good. Inhale, stupa, and we repeat on the front of the mat. So exhale, crescent lunge. Inhale, step it in. Exhale, pyramid, forward fold. Good. Inhale, twist. Exhale, hand back down. Inhale, standing up. And exhale, stepping back, crescent. Good. Again, inhale and back of the mat, crescent. Inhale, step it in and pyramid. Inhale, rotated triangle. Exhale, hand down. Inhale, stand back up. And exhale, crescent. Good. One more time. Inhale up and exhale, front of the mat, crescent. Inhale, stand up and exhale, pyramid. Good. Inhale, rotated triangle. Excellent. Exhale that hand down. Now inhale the left leg up. Extend the crown of the head away from the heel. Exhale, left hand to the ground. And inhale, right arm up. So rotated, balancing half moon. Okay. So again, complex shape, a lot going on. We have other classes that have this shape in it as kind of a peak, but it's worthy of repetition. It's not the easiest posture to do. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. We'll make our way to down dog, and let's explore the other side. All right, feet touching. We inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee, left arm. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale, opposite arm. Kick it out. Inhale, fallen triangle. And then exhale to the auspicious twist. So again, forearms are, maybe deep enough for you, or you can take it a little deeper by bringing the shoulder down. Good. Let's go ahead and straighten the legs. Inhale, fallen triangle. Exhale that hand down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And then inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms. Inhale, stupa. Exhale, crescent. Inhale, step it in and straighten the arms and the leg. Exhale, pyramid. Good. Inhale, rotated triangle. Exhale, the hand down, pyramid. Inhale, stand up. And then exhale, crescent lunge. Inhale, stupa. And exhale, crescent, front of the mat. Good. Inhale, step it in. Exhale, pyramid. And then inhale, rotated triangle. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, standing up. And exhale, crescent lunge. Good. Inhale, stupa. And exhale, back of the mat, crescent. Inhale, step it in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, lunge, stepping back. Inhale, and exhale, front of the mat. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, rotate. Good. From there, just exhale the hand down. And then inhale, lift the back leg. So crown of the head away from the heel, right? So extend crown of the head and heel like you're trying to touch both walls. And then the right hand under the shoulder or to a block. And then inhale that left arm up. Again, length
in the right waist and openness in the chest. Good. Deep breath. Exhale, bottom of your push-up as you make your way to downward dog. All right, everybody. Excellent work. From here, we inhale to the toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale back up to standing back bend. And then exhale, arms out like wings, dropping into a chair. Inhale the right ankle over the left thigh, right? And then drop down. And see if you can take a twist this time. So actually, sorry, hands to the heart. So we're going to take a little twist. Okay. See if we can get that elbow in there. So we take a prayer twist here. And then we want to see if we can come into the grasshopper from here. All right. So again, if you're having trouble twisting, just work on this step. Okay. If this is relatively easy, then inhale, open those arms, and then hands to the ground, shoulder width, gaze up, and then slowly shift the weight onto the arms, lifting that leg up. Okay, and that's called the grasshopper pose. It's not an easy arm balance, but again, the point isn't for us to make everything easy. We definitely want things that are out of our comfort zone. And so I try and design this class so that even the most advanced yoga practitioner, they may be able to do everything, but they're still going to feel challenged by the class. Okay, so let's try the other side. We inhale back up. And then, sorry, my bad, we exhale hands to heart, bend the knees, and then inhale the left over the right. Now again, you can just work on this, right? If your balance is really poor, then you're just working here with this, okay? If this is relatively easy, then again, you want to take the twist. And again, if you can do this, so I'm not like falling over. This isn't the easiest thing for me, but I'm not toppling over. I'm not losing my balance. So again, I would want to explore hands to the ground, gaze up, and work on lifting that heel. Another approach is if you weren't able to do the side crow earlier, you could repeat that, right? You could try that again and see if you can master that. So remember that with my classes, you can always kind of go back a step and work on that. The thing I recommend you don't do is just wait for that section to finish and watch everyone else or watch me do it, because you're not really actually benefiting just by watching someone else. Okay, nice work, everybody. Let's go ahead and unwind onto the back. In Shavasana, we'll take a few breaths here just to catch our breath. So you might find your breath has quickened, it's deepened, you might be sweating a bit. All of that is not bad, it's good. But we do try and keep the breath modulated, right? So if you're breathing really fast, panting, hyperventilating, then just slow it down, use the techniques we learned at the beginning. Good, so I mentioned the bookends at the beginning. So let's bring those legs in now, just like we did at the beginning of class. So we'll do a very similar routine here. Just gonna move around a little bit, feeling. So again, for me, I can share my experience, much less sensation. So again, that's where sometimes things are counterintuitive. We might think, oh, my back hurts, I don't want to move, I don't want to do anything. But the movement has actually made me feel better. And that's exactly what we want to see, okay?
Sometimes it's not so immediate. Sometimes we might feel worse actually a bit before we feel better, but overall, that's the trajectory we're looking for. Okay, so let's finish with a relaxed twist, so arms out to the side. At the beginning, we did this actively back and forth, but now we'll just drop those knees to the left, look to the right, and we'll approach it like a yin posture. So holding there. And again, it's interesting to check in how it feels. We've done a lot of twisting in today's class. As I said, twisting's been something that's challenging for me just recently. For whatever reason, it really shows up in my back the last couple of weeks. But this is the most comfortable twist I've done in a while. And that's likely because of all the twisting we did in today's class. Good. We inhale those knees back through center. We'll take them off to the other side. This is called Jathara Parivartanasana. So this side definitely more sensitive for me in terms of twisting. My left side, for whatever reason, on my back, it's just been very sensitive. I feel it in side bends as well. But as I hold the twist, I feel a lot of that sensitivity just dissipating. So after a few breaths, it pretty much feels like the other side. And again, it's exactly what I would like to feel ultimately, is the longer I hold, the more relaxed my body becomes. Now again, if we're doing something with strength, then a lot of times there'll be an intensity that comes, that grows. That's different, right? I'm not talking about an intensity. I'm talking about actual like pain or discomfort, dysfunction, right? And the longer I hold the pose, the less I feel that. That's exactly what I want. Okay, let's inhale back to center. We'll grab the soles of the feet and we do a little happy baby. Now here in happy baby, I definitely can feel some of that sensitivity in my back. So even though we did the whole class and we did a lot of twisting, it's still there. And that's likely because there's some underlying issue that I haven't gotten to yet. So it's likely that the problem isn't, like Tom Myers likes to say, where the pain is, the problem isn't. So it's likely that even though the pain is in my back, it could be in my hip flexors, it could be in my, who knows where it's coming from, right? So that's something that hopefully I'll uncover at some point. Okay, so stretch it out, and then when you're ready, you're going to unwind into Shavasana on your back, heels apart, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly, eyes closed. Now again, I'm not going to stay with you for this part, so my recommendation, grab your phone, set a timer for 5 or 6 minutes. It's not as important in the yin class. It's much more important in this class that you take that rest and just give your body and nervous system a minute to rebalance itself. It just needs some stillness and silence to do that. You know, if you get right up and start being active again, you're just not giving your body an opportunity to kind of balance.